And a welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here with us this morning and navigating with us through some time here as we had a little technical moment that unfortunately happened here, but happy to be here with you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City, coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They are open for sales and service Monday through Saturday. You can go and see them and make sure to let them know that DT sent you. Of course, you can get a sneak peek of their inventory to buy and lease, and of course, check out those new and used vehicles by going to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. And of course, we appreciate that you're with us up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com as well as Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. So however you're connected with the show, we thank you so much for being with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. I cannot thank you enough for being a part of the show, and we thank you so much for being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So thank you for your support, and thank you for all that you bring here to Wake Up Call. And, of course, we are here on this Friday inside of Monpaz Popcorn.com's What's Poppin'. We have a bunch of things that we do here on a Friday. We're going to start things off as we always do with the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Then we'll jump in to lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. And then we'll go into the top dog of the week, proudly presented, lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. Then we'll get into our top dog of the week announcement, proudly presented by K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare and K-9 Campground Dog Boarding. And we'll round out the show with our players of the week, and that is coming to you from the wonderful team at Myers Creek in both of their locations, and we'll have the opportunity to speak with or to showcase a high school player of the week and a Syracuse football player of the week. So we appreciate you and thank you for being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. So we can't thank you enough for being a part of the broadcast, and we appreciate y'all so very much. So with this being said, the annoying moment of the week is here with you, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. And I cannot thank you enough for the opportunity to be able to share this with you every single week. As much as, we joke about things here and there, and we talk about different things, and unfortunately, when I say we joke about different things, we'll take this time with the annoying moment of the week, and we'll talk about something that's frustrating or annoying. We'll talk about parking, or we'll talk about driving on the roads or traffic or something like that, or the fact that egg prices went to an all-time ridiculous price and whatnot. We'll discuss things, and we'll have these moments on the show where we can just talk. And it's what's very frustrating to me is that as much as we come on this show and we talk about different things and we have the opportunity to share different things, it's just become very, very sad that what I have to talk about sometimes and things that do come up, just it's tough. It's tough. The annoying moment of the week was meant to talk about some crazy news and different things that go on out there. But our country's gotten so crazy and so sad and so confusing that there's things that unfortunately are unfolding, happening, that I have to sit here and talk about. that I have to sit here and discuss. Because if I didn't, what type of human being would I be? If I didn't sit here and I didn't talk about this really sad stuff that's happening and that's unfolded. So I'm happy to be here with you today, and I'm happy to have this time with you today. And I hope you're doing okay. My annoying moment of the week for this week, unfortunately, I could choose a million different things. I could choose the school shootings. I can choose the killing on a train in Charlotte. I can choose the assassination of a human being that was having a conversation on a campus. I can choose going back, a little while and talk about someone who was killed in their home. I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm hurt and I'm saddened by the fact that this stuff is happening. I mean, I grew up as a kid, and when Columbine happened, it was crazy that it happened in America. It was nonsensical that it happened in America. We would sit here and think about it, and it was like, there's no way that this could happen. My family and I, we were down in Florida. We were on vacation. And I still remember to this day, being in the airport and sitting like somewhat in the middle and seeing it on the TV. And you're sitting here thinking to yourself, like, it was surreal. You're like, there's no way there was a school shooting in America. Like, that doesn't happen in America. And you grow up and you see the Middle East and you see like people in the Middle East, like you can't go get coffee and go to the town square and go pray somewhere because something could happen, right? And you could, there's all these things that could occur just out in public if you were in the Middle East. And you would see the Middle East from afar and you would think to yourself, like, my goodness, how do these people live? This is awful. I can't believe that they have to deal with this and that they have to deal with this all the time. And we were supposed to be the people that helped the Middle East, right? America is supposed to be the beacon of hope, to look for the Middle East to be able to look to us and say, hey, like, there's another way of life. There's another way to do it. There's proper discourse. There's ways to work together. We were supposed to be the hope. And now what have we become? Who are we now? Who is America right now? That's my question. Because the stuff that we couldn't understand that happened so far away, it happens here now. Columbine, that was a total shock to the system of America, that happens all the time now. We've had shootings in a mall, at a movie theater, at a school. We've had multiple assassination attempts on a presidential candidate. We had an assassination attempt that unfortunately was successful this week on a podcaster who talks about his opinions. There's people that allegedly have to travel around with an insane amount of security because of their opinions in America. This is not a dictatorship. This is not an authoritarian government. This is not communism. This is not Nazi Germany, but people have to have security because of their beliefs. And I didn't think anything was worse than hearing about a bunch of kids in Colorado that were shot after praying, or Columbine, where allegedly one of the girls that was there, one of the gunmen went up to her and said, "Do you believe in Jesus Christ? Like, do you believe in God?" She said yes, and he shot her in the head after she said yes. I didn't think that there was anything worse than having someone get assassinated while they were just sitting under a tent and talking. I didn't think there was anything worse than knowing that with all the security that's supposed to be there, there's really not that much security sometimes to protect a president, a presidential elect, a candidate, the White House. I'm sitting here this morning trying to understand how a nation that I grew up in, that was appalled that there were people overseas in the Middle East that couldn't go get coffee, couldn't go to the movies, couldn't go pray, couldn't go do whatever, go to the grocery store because there could be a bomber. There could be something that happens while they're out, because that's just the way of life there. That's just how it is. And that's how people feel in America right now. We're not talking about that. I'm 39 years old. I'm not 89 years old. When I was a little kid, this was unheard of. This didn't happen. Now it happens all the time. And not only does it happen, but you know what's worse than all of this stuff happening? I didn't think anything could be worse. I didn't think anything could be worse than my parents telling me that a bunch of little kids were shot and killed at a school, just out there praying and going about their lives. Or that a woman would be killed on a train when in a city that I was just in a few weeks ago. In a city that has these modes of transportation that friends of mine that live in that city may have taken. That it could have been literally anybody. I was just in Charlotte, and outside of one hotel that I stayed in one time, I feel safe when I'm in Charlotte. I love being in Charlotte. Charlotte's one of my favorite cities. Or you hear about a female politician who's at home, minding her business, living her life. Maybe she's watching TV. Maybe she's making something. Maybe she's, putting on a robe, just got out of the shower, time to relax with her husband, and she can't feel safe in her own house. Or a guy who sits down and has conversations on campuses, brings it to you, right? Welcomes you to come out and disagree with him and have a conversation as long as it's civil. And you shoot him while he's sitting there talking. And I sat here and I thought to myself, there's nothing worse than all of this stuff, right? There can't be anything worse than the actual sin itself of taking somebody else's life. And then you see the comments on social media. I received a message yesterday from somebody that told me that because I posted a message and want people to come together, don't want people to hate each other, appreciate when people defend God, appreciate when people stand up to adversity. I got a message yesterday of someone that should know exactly my heart and know who I am and what I'm about, know that I have never, ever been a racist person, a prejudiced person, a sexist person. I don't hate anyone. I've never hated anyone. I take that very seriously. I have ended friendships over people saying the N-word in front of me. I don't associate with people that say the N-word in the Italian realm or the Spanish realm. I have distanced myself from people that have been racist, prejudiced, sexist, hateful. I ended a friendship over how a guy treated a girl before. I'm the last person to come to and challenge my beliefs, my morals, my values, and what I stand for. And because I've had enough of seeing people hurt, and because I said something about it, I had somebody tell me, don't ever speak to me again, our friendship's over. I had another person question my moral fiber. There's people that are happy or completely unaffected by Charlie Kirk's death, by the woman on the train, by the school shootings, by the female politician in her home. There's people that are completely unaffected by this stuff. They don't care. There's things that literally are happening in our country. Factual. And people are going, nah, that's the other side. I'm on this side. I don't believe that. I don't believe anything they say. There's people that if you're on the other side of them and you save a baby from a burning building, they're going to tell you, they're going to say, you didn't save that baby because you loved them. You saved that baby for publicity. You saved that baby because, you want to date the mother of the baby. You saved the baby because your business was struggling and you want to make sure that you get enough money and you think this will be good PR for you. There's people that will hate you because you're not like them, no matter what. And the fact that we are debating, attacking, and ending friendships and familial relationships over the death and assassination of someone, over the death and assassination of somebody else, over school shootings, over Catholicism and being Muslim and the Jewish faith, and over black and white and blue and brown, this is sickening. This is not normal behavior. If you're ending a friendship over the fact that someone's sad over the death of someone, get on. Get the move on. Keep on walking. Okay? Because there's nothing that is more despicable and disgusting than people fighting with each other after somebody bled out. Or people fighting with each other after somebody was shot in their home. Or people fighting with each other after a woman was killed just going about her life on transportation. I don't take the subway anymore in New York City because people are pushing people in front of trains for no reason. I dated a girl last year and I said to her, are people actually doing this? Is the news making this up? She said, Dan, it's happening. I don't take the subway no more. This is a woman who lives and works and breathes in the city. There's people that are saying, oh no, there's no people getting into the country illegally. There's no mass people coming into the country. And then I go into a city and I got a guy from the Dominican Republic and said, my family and I came in here legally. There's people coming in here illegally and they're stabbing people here and they're doing this and they're doing that. And people are telling me it's fake news. I'm going home, people telling me it's fake news. I'm on the ground with the people, total strangers, no reason to lie to me. They don't know what I stand for. I don't know what they stand for. We're just having a conversation. There's literal things that are happening. And I, unlike some other people, I will actually ask the question of the people in the place. Is Times Square safe right now? Not according to the people in New York City. When I'm on the grounds and I'm talking to people, I'm talking to people in the place. I'm not watching the news in my underpants. Oh, what did they tell me to do now? They want me to wear a chicken suit? Okay, I'll wear a chicken suit. No. I'm literally watching life, talking to people, living in the places, the cities, the towns. I don't have this veil over where I'm going to just blindly follow one side or the other. If you're all the way over here or you're all the way over there, you're doing it wrong. If you will follow a politician or a this, or if you follow somebody blindly thinking that they're Jesus Christ, you're doing it wrong. There is no Jesus Christ other than Jesus Christ. There's no doppelganger Jesus Christ. There's only one Jesus Christ, and he sits on the throne. There's no politician that's Jesus. There's no athlete or entertainer that's Jesus. Worshipping anything other than Jesus is idolatry. And I am so sick and tired of having to sit here and have these conversations where people want you to be politically correct. What is politically correct? When has politics ever been correct? Politically correct is like an oxymoron. I serve God. So if you shoot Muslim kids, I feel the same as if you shoot Catholic kids. I serve God. So if you kill a woman and you kill a man, I feel the same. If you kill black, white, brown, blue, purple, orange, polka dot, I feel the same. I feel the same. I am the last person on the planet to have a conversation with of, if you don't agree with me, then you can never call me again. Like 60-year-old people acting like they're 4 on a playground. If you are rejoicing in the death of someone, get on. If you don't care because the person that died doesn't have the same beliefs as you, get on. Jesus Christ died for people that hated him. He died for the people that were standing and applauding while he was walking the cross up the mountain. He died for the people that switched his life with a murderer. So you say that you're a God-fearing, God-loving person and you send messages in the morning about Jesus and how much God loves everybody, and then you're the first person to destroy relationships, destroy friendships, spit on people? If you believe in God, you don't rejoice in anybody's death. If you believe in God, you don't threaten, maim, attack, discourage, and suppress. There is no God in, if you're different than I am, I hate you. Like that, there's no God in that. We've come to a place in this country that if you have a difference of opinion, family's no longer family, friends are no longer friends, people break up, marriages end over opinions, over I like this and you don't. And now we're sitting here deciding who's a God person and who's not a God person. You know what I find really hilarious is when somebody can parade around like they believe in God, and then they can threaten to end their connection to you if you don't act exactly and think exactly like them. There's no God in that. Do you know how many friends I have that we don't agree on everything? Do you know how many conversations I've had with people that vehemently disagreed with me? Do you know how many friends I have that are Jewish? And I'm Catholic. Like, we both believe Jesus existed. I believe he's the Son of Man. They believe he was a really nice person. Totally different. Same God, but different. They don't believe in the Son of God being Jesus. I do. And we've been friends for what, 15, 17 years? I had conversations publicly and privately with people that didn't necessarily agree with me. And you know what I thought about those conversations? As long as they were civil, I had them. The moment somebody started calling me names or attacking me or threatening me or trying to coerce me and manipulate me into going into a corner, I was done with those conversations. But any other time that we had a conversation, let's have a conversation. Why can't we have a conversation? I'm never going to tell somebody to not be who you are and think how you think and do what you want to do. I'm going to give you advice if you ask for it. I'm going to talk to you about things. We're going to have a conversation about stuff. But there's no way in heck that I'm going to turn around and tell you, you got to be this and you got to be that. You got to do this and you got to do that. Who am I to say something like that? Who are you to say something like that? The only thing worse than seeing what I've seen in this country recently is that people think it's right. They think it's okay. People are not upset with the way that they talk to each other. They think it's totally fine to do what they've done to each other. I'm not happy. I had people question, are you happy with this? Are you happy with that? You don't know me. You really don't truly know me if you think that I would be happy with anybody's death. When Osama bin Laden died, I prayed for his soul. Not because I agreed with anything that he did, but because I don't think the devil needs another person. And I had people say to me, and Matt, I saw your messages here. Appreciate you listening this morning. And Jerry and everybody that's out there. You know, I can't fathom a world acting the way it does right now. I can't fathom it. Like, my grandfathers and my great uncles fought in World War II. They were in the Navy, they were in the Army, and they were in the Air Force. And they're probably looking down from heaven right now crying. I mean, I don't think you cry in heaven. Hopefully you don't. Unless it's happy tears. But I feel like they're looking down from heaven right now going like, what is this? We fought against the Nazis for Americans to call each other Nazis. That's the thing now. If you don't agree with someone, you're a Nazi. That's the conversation now. You don't agree with me, you're Hitler. That's the words we use. You don't agree with me, you're a dictator, you're Hitler, you're a Nazi. Like, we have resorted as adults of calling to just call people names. And I've done it before. I've called people names, not those names, but like I'm not that type, but I've called people a name before. People call me a name before. I had a conversation with somebody last night. I said, you know what? I don't do that anymore. When somebody's yelling at me, fighting with me, and saying all this stuff to me, I'm not going to call you a name. I'm not going to raise my voice. I'm just going to ask you to leave my house. Like, there's no point in fighting. There's no point in fighting. And there's no point in being around somebody that has no respect for you whatsoever. And the fact that somebody can come into your life, tell you that they love you, appreciate you, care about you, you matter, and then you have an opinion that's different than theirs, and they're like, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to be around you, you can't be my friend, you can't be my family member, you can't date me anymore, I hate you, don't be around my kids, da 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 da. Like, it is laughable that people say they believe in God. And then they go around destroying all their relationships with people without even talking to the person. And here's the funny part. They might read something a certain way and misconstrue you and end an entire relationship over something they think they understand because they're coming at it through their viewfinder. They're mad, they're angry. That's why they tell you to not make decisions when you're emotional. People that go around just firing, just taking the machine gun and not even looking and just letting the bullets fly. You're going to regret that someday sitting in a chair. I don't wish that you do. I hope you don't. But I think you will regret that. I would regret that. I would regret having an emotional reaction and saying, I can't believe that somebody was saying, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Okay. I don't hate anybody. My grandmother told me a long time ago, G-Mama told me this. I never forgot this, and I will never forget this. She said, don't ever hate anybody. Hate is too strong of a word. She said, you can severely dislike anything. You can severely dislike, but you cannot hate because you can't come back from hate. That's what my grandmother taught me. So I don't hate anybody. You got a difference of opinion than me? That's fine. You got a difference of opinion of me, that's fine. I'm a broadcaster, okay? I might pick your team this week. I might not pick your team this week. And you might be mad at me because I didn't pick your team. You might be mad at me because I picked a team and you bet on that team and I didn't tell you to bet on it or not bet on it because I don't do that stuff, but you went and bet on that team and you lost. So now you think, oh, well, Dan, it's Dan's fault. Now you're the one that placed the bet. You're the one that made the phone call. We're going to disagree with each other, but this is what we've come to in life. I don't like what you believe in. I'm going to come in your house and kill you. I don't like what you believe in. I'm going to go to a school. I'm going to go to a university campus and shoot you in front of thousands and thousands in the whole world. I don't agree with you, Shaw. I'm going to go shoot up this school because I don't believe in this, or I don't like this, or this town was mean to me, or I went to school here and I got bullied, so now I'm going to kill these people that have nothing to do with the bullies that I went to school. Not that you should do anything to those people, but now I'm going to go kill these random people. Right? I'm on a train and it's me and this other person. I'm going to kill them because this will be fun for me. Like, who thinks about this stuff? And why are we even discussing it and defending it? People are defending murderers right now. In real time in America, people are defending murderers and shaming people for being sad about the death of somebody. You don't even know what those relationships are. What if Charlie Kirk and I, and we weren't, but I'm just saying, what if Charlie Kirk and I were childhood friends? What if I agreed with some things he said, but not everything he said, and we're childhood friends? And he dies and I'm distraught. And I got people writing me messages going, if you like Charlie, we're not friends anymore. You're stupid. I hate you. And you don't know that I've known the guy for 25 years. What if I'm the godfather of his kid? I'm not, but I'm saying as an example, I am a godfather. So what if the person that I consider my brother, who's my very close friend, okay, he's the father of my godson. So what if he goes out there publicly and he stands up for something that I agree with that half of Syracuse doesn't? And I support him and I'm there for him and I'm there for the family. And I got people, and people are out there making threats on his life and making threats on who he is and what he stands for. Am I supposed to not be his child's godson? Am I supposed to not stand by him when I agree with him and I love him dearly? Am I supposed to spit on his name? Because if I don't, my other friends will think that I'm a duty head. Like, I mean, how kindergarten have we become? If you don't agree with me, I'm going to stamp my foot. Like, I mean, seriously? If you're a 60-year-old man or woman or 40-year-old or 30, I mean, people should know better in a lot of different ways. And I feel like I knew better when I was a kid because I was raised right. But if you're 40, 50, 60 years old and you're ending friendships because somebody put up a comment about how sad they are over the death of somebody, you're a sick human being. And I hope that you seek counseling. I really do. Because amidst all of the crap and all of the hate that was going on yesterday, Tiana Mangakahia passed away. A beautiful soul. She played for Syracuse basketball. She passed away yesterday. While a bunch of people were screaming at each other for just whatever worm crawled into their brain is manipulating all the wires in there, somebody died that's just a good, kind human being. While y'all were hating each other, some good person passed away. Yesterday was 9/11, and I had so-called BS friends texting me, telling me, you put up a message about Charlie Kirk, and you put up a message about, and what did the message say? What did the message say? What did the message say? The message said that I stood up, or that I appreciated that he stood up for God. That I appreciated that he was unafraid to stand up for God. And that I would never applaud the death of anyone, whether they agree with me or not. And I had people yesterday telling me that my friendship's over because I said that. Because I said that I'm going to stick up, or because I said that I appreciated that somebody stuck up for God. So our friendship's over. And they're, well, you don't know Charlie like I. They don't even know him. They didn't even know him. I didn't know him personally. They didn't know him personally. And they're ending friendships over somebody that we both don't know. Because I said thank you for sticking up for God. Because the countless videos that I watched were him defending God in the Bible. And that's how I knew him. So that's how I remembered him. And I feel bad that his wife is without him today. And that she didn't leave that university holding hands with him, thinking about where they were going to go to dinner. And I feel bad that those little kids have to grow up without a father because of some idiot that was a coward. And that listened to the devil because they sure as heck didn't listen to God. So I don't want to hear, I'm not the one that pulled the trigger, Dan, so I'm a good person. No, you're not. If you applaud the death of Charlie Kirk, you're not a good person. You're not. If you applaud the death of the woman on the train, you're not a good person. And her name being Irina. And she's Ukrainian. And ironically, I have a friend named Irina who's also from Ukraine, who left Ukraine thinking that the United States was going to be better. If you don't care about the deaths of these school shootings or you become to them, or you've become numb to them, you're not a good person. If you don't care about the death of Melissa Hortman, you're not a good person. And that's reality. Okay? It's not me trying to pass judgment. It's not me trying to say this. If you are happy that someone else died, maybe I shouldn't say you're not a good person because that is passing judgment. If you don't care about someone's death or you're happy about someone's death or you applaud someone's death or it doesn't even matter to you that somebody died, maybe the better thing to say instead of saying you're not a good person is to say, I don't want to associate with you. I don't. And I won't. I'm never going to be happy that somebody died. Never. And I'm never going to be happy when somebody takes the life of somebody because we have no right to do that. We're not God. Dan, why do you stand against abortion? Because I don't want to see babies die? Well, do you hate women? I love women. Well, do you not think they have rights? I, of course, think they have rights. Well, then why don't you let them have abortions? What do you mean let them? I'm not a doctor. I just don't want to see a baby die. Why is that evil? I don't want to see anyone die of any age at all. When people die that I don't know, I get sad. I cry over people I don't know. My dad has cried like 3 times in my entire life. He cried at what happened this week. He cried about Charlie Kirk, not because of this belief and that belief and no, but because this young kid who's younger than his son was shot for just speaking his mind. My dad didn't like seeing that. It made him sad. And my dad does not cry that often. So I'm hearing my dad cry. I'm distraught. I'm confused. I'm saddened. And I get a text message. Yo, bro, you believe in this? I don't. We're not friends anymore. Peace. And it's like, all right, idiot, keep on. I'll end every friendship I have on this planet if you are happy to see people die. Because if there's anything that you've ever known about me, it's that I can have conversations with people that don't agree with me, and I don't hate you. I don't wish bad on you. I don't wish bad on your family. I don't hope bad on you. I don't end, like, if you can have a civil conversation. How many times have Brendan and I on Monday on DT and Murphy, how many times have we disagreed? And I don't think less of him as a person. I don't hate him. I don't tell him you can't be on my show because you didn't agree with me today. I remember one guy when I was on ESPN radio in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I remember one guy called the show and he's like, I'm listening to the show. I think he said something like, I don't usually call, but like, I totally disagree with everything you're saying. Like, I'm losing my mind yelling at the radio. So I had to call you. And I said, all right. And it was about Stephon Marbury. And it was about Stephon. Like, I thought it was stupid that Stephon Marbury was on the Knicks and that he was sitting on the bench, that Dan Toney like wouldn't play the guy. And he's making $22 million. Like, it's a total waste of money. Just trade him or play him, like, figure it out. And this guy was vehemently against me. We talked about his points, my points. He was all the way over here. I was all the way over there. The end of the conversation, we were laughing. He said, great to talk with you, man. And we talked about getting food together sometime. That's how two people on totally opposite ends of the coin, that's like we ended the conversation laughing, saying that we should go get food together. And that was in what, 2008? In today's America, if you're on this side and you're on that side, you get shot under a tent, you get shot in your house, you get shot at your school. You get stabbed on a train. You're different than me. I don't like you. This is prehistoric. I think cavemen would be appalled by us. I really do, right now. And the fact that I even have to come on this show and have this conversation is stupid. This is ridiculous. The fact that anybody can stand on the opposite side of me when I sit here this morning and say, I don't stand for racism, sexism, prejudice. I love everybody. I don't want to see anybody die. And if you're different than me, if you disagree with me, I still don't want to see you die. I don't want to see you in pain. I'm going to, like, if I agree with Charlie Kirk and he's assassinated, I feel bad. If I don't agree with Charlie Kirk and he's assassinated, I feel bad. And somebody can fight with that. That's appalling to me. It's illogical, it's irrational, it is nonsensical, and it's demonic. And anybody that goes through this world talking about their love for Jesus Christ or their belief in God, and in the same breath is ending friendships over a difference of opinion, and ending friendships over people that are saddened by the death of somebody, or ending friendships or relationships or familial stuff because somebody cares about someone or they were moved by somebody, like, there's someone that might be moved by me and listening to my show, and they might believe in God today when they never believed in God. And they say, it's because of Dan Tortora that I believe in God. And then there could be somebody else who's like, I hate Dan Tortora. I don't like anything about him. I don't like his face and I don't like his voice and I hate his guts. And then those people bump into each other. And this guy says, Dan Tortora changed my life. And these people end up becoming friends. And he says, Dan Tortora changed my life, after they've been friends for 8 years, and this guy goes, I hate Dan Tortora. If Dan Tortora changed your life, then you're not going to heaven. You're a terrible person. I never want to speak to you again. They had two different experiences with me. Right? This person hated me because they hated my voice. This person said something that I said on the show clicked with them, and it changed their life. And then they become friends, and then over me, they can't talk to each other anymore. And they hate each other. Like, that is so nonsensical. If you talk about God and then you end friendships over difference of opinion or the fact that people love, like, I had a friend for 12 years and we disagreed on a lot of things and we talked them through, and they were big picture stuff, and we talked about all the stuff, and sometimes we came to agreement and sometimes we didn't, but we talked about the stuff, and we had 2-hour, 3-hour conversations about this stuff. Do you know why our friendship ended? It wasn't because of difference of opinion. It was because he lied to my face. And when I gave him an opportunity to apologize for lying to my face, he lied to me again. That's why our friendship ended, because I can't trust him. It had nothing to do with difference of opinion. I have never ended a friendship over difference of opinion. I've ended friendships over people that were abusive toward women or derogatory toward women. I've ended friendships over people that were prejudiced, and I've ended friendships over people that were racist. I have distanced myself from people that use the N-word in Spanish culture, the N-word in Italian culture, and the N-word toward African Americans. I have ended friendships on all of those fronts. If I look back at my life and I look at the people that I am no longer associated with, it is over sexism, racism, prejudice, and hate speech, and lies and deceit. So if you're out here today and you're ending your friendships with people because they like Charlie Kirk and you don't, or vice versa, or they're Catholic and you're Muslim, or vice versa, or they like Melissa Hortman and you don't, or they care about the Ukrainian woman on the train and you don't, or vice versa, if that's what you're ending your friendships over, I would be very surprised if you have any true friends in your life, because that's the life of a man or a woman on an island. And I don't live that world. I can't live that world. I have never once in my life sent a text message to somebody and said, if this is what you believe in, don't ever speak to me again. Am I God? And to be a person that believes in God and parades around as a godly human being and then goes and tells people who's like God and who's not. I'm a godly person, you're not. I like God. You're not a godly person if you're judging everybody else. That's why I even sat here today and said when I said you're not a good person if you applaud someone's death, I said I can't even say that because that's judgmental, and I'm not judgmental. God is my judge. That's what Daniel means. My namesake means God is my judge. It means that I know I cannot judge. I know that is his job. That is the higher power's job. It is not my job. So that's why in real time on this show, I admitted that I was wrong for saying that I can't say that you're not a good person. I just don't want to associate with people that applaud the death of other people. Because I can admit when I'm wrong. And not everybody in this world can admit when they're wrong. They make a decision and then they stick to it because they'd rather be wrong than say, I'm sorry. So while people were fighting over Charlie Kirk and Melissa Hortman and whatever yesterday, Tiana Mangakahia passed away. It was 9/11 yesterday. Remember how we said we would never forget? Remember how we came together? Remember how nobody cared who was Republican or Democrat or independent? We just all wanted to band together as Americans, and we said we would never forget, and then 3 months later we all forgot. And now on the anniversary of 9/11, we were fighting over the assassination of someone, whether or not it was an assassination, whether or not we should care, whether or not he was a good person. Could you imagine it was you? You know the golden rule, treat other people the way you want to be treated? What if it was you? What if you were the one under the tent and you believe you're a good person and you believe you're doing the right thing and you take all your opinions and your values and you went across the country and you talked to people and you were sitting under a tent and you got shot and killed yesterday, and from heaven you watched people say how terrible of a person you are, how you deserve to die, how you don't matter, how nobody cares about you. They attacked everyone that believed in you or cared about you or valued you. And you had to watch your wife and your children read the messages on social media. And then you watched your wife go to the mailbox and there was a bunch of letters saying, not only did I kill your husband, but I'm going to kill you and your kids next. How would you feel if it was you? I mean, that's the golden rule, right? How would you feel if it was you? That's how I think about people. When somebody dies, I never stop and pause and go, well, God, did they agree with what I agree with? Okay, then I'll pray for them. I just pray for them. Do you know how many times I pray a day? I pray all day long. You want to know why? Because my prayer list keeps getting longer. You want to know why? Because this country keeps getting worse. Because this world keeps getting worse. I feel bad how many times I pray to God now. I used to pray to God and I pray about, like these 5 things. Now I'm praying to God about 72 things by noon. And I'm sorry, God, I don't mean to put all this on you. But I'm praying for everybody. I'm even praying for the people that disowned me as a human being because I put out a message of positivity and love. And in the center of the message, I said, I will never be happy for anybody dying, whether they agree with me or not. That was in the center of my message. And then the irony of getting a message from somebody going, I don't agree with you, so now you can never speak to me again. So I'm sitting here saying, I will never push somebody away, whether you agree with me or not. That's not who I am. And for these messages to come from people that tell me that they love me, they appreciate me, and they talk about God all the time. You know what I realized? I used to think people that talked about God believed in God. Now I've realized that some people that talk about God, I don't know who they are or what they are, but you can't talk about it and then not be about it. I prayed for Osama bin Laden's soul. Not because I agree with him, not because I applaud what he did, not because I thought he was a great human being that I would follow anywhere. I prayed for his soul because I don't want any of God's creation to not be in heaven. I want you to repent. I want you to say, I'm sorry. And I want you to do whatever it takes to be with God. Because the thought of anybody burning for all eternity, the fact that somebody can go, you know what? I love this person so deeply and I would do anything for them. And I hope this person burns in hell. You can't live. You can't love and hate and think you're doing it the right way. Like I learned a long time ago that hate is like a drop of dye. That if you have a glass of water, water's clear. Right? So you got a glass of water. If you put one drop of dye, any color, let's say it's a blue dye. You put one drop of blue dye, one drop of hate. And let's say for this analogy that it's the hate is a blue drop. You put that blue drop in, it's one drop. And initially, the water stays pretty unchanged except for that one drop that's going down through it. Walk away and come back. The entire glass is blue because of one drop. You cannot hate some and love others. Once you put one drop of hate, that's why my grandmother said, don't ever hate. It's too strong of a word and you can't come back from it. If you put one drop of hate inside of you, your entire heart is filled with it. You cannot have but one drop of hate and think that you're doing it right. I do not believe that God will ever say to us, you hated some, you loved others. You loved more than you hated 60 to 40. Come on in. I think the people that get to heaven are the people that pray for the people that they don't agree with, and they don't hate anybody, and they're kind to people, even when it's hard. I've come on this show numerous times and told you that it's really hard for me sometimes to deal with people that treat me so badly. And I just want to say something. Because it's like, how could you do it? And I want to say it even if it wasn't me. You know how many people that I told my buddy about something yesterday. I said, dude, I got treated right and you got treated wrong in a situation last week. And I didn't like it. I didn't go, oh, okay. Normally we're either both treated right or we're both treated wrong. But in this situation, it was separate and I was treated right and he was treated wrong. I was respected and he was disrespected. You know how I felt about that? I felt like it was wrong. And I told him, I said, hey, I'll switch with you. You know, you can go do your thing because I don't feel right about this. And I didn't even, and when I told him that, he was like, you don't even need to tell me that. I knew. I knew you felt that way. And I said, well, I feel like you would have done the same thing for me. And he's like, I would have. And him and I don't agree on everything. But I know his heart. And I know what he stands for. I know what he's about. If you're going to go around the world crapping on people, that's not going to be a good life. And if you're going to go around the world crapping on people that you know their hearts are good, but they just happen to not agree with you, or they didn't vote for who you wanted to vote for, or they didn't do the thing you wanted them to. I mean, folks, the people that control people don't want to be controlled. The people that hate on people don't want to be hated. The people that judge people don't want to be judged. The people that tell you what to do don't want you to tell them what to do. The people that force you to do things don't want to be forced to do things. And so I'm happy to lose all those people because they say there's 7 deadly sins and I say that there's 8. Not to challenge God, but to just talk about the fact that I think hypocrisy is the 8th deadly sin. Because hypocrisy, that's all I talked to my dad about yesterday was hypocrisy. I said, Dad, do you realize that there's people that say and do these things and then they can't stand when somebody does it to them or says it to them? Like, literally, like mirror image. Like, don't swear at me while I'm swearing at you. I hate violence, but I think violence is okay in this situation. Like, I have never been a fan of guns. And at the same time, if somebody breaks into someone's house and charges at them, I think that person has the right to defend themselves. I don't like guns. I wish that nobody had them, that they were never created. And at the same time, I understand why people have them in their house. And at the same time, I know that they're dangerous. So it's like, Dan, are you on this side or this side? I'm right in the middle going, I don't like it. And yet, the world we live in today, I understand why you have it. So, I mean, where do we go from here? Because a woman died on a train, a man died speaking his mind, a bunch of kids have died how many times in school shootings, including recently in Colorado? 9/11's anniversary was yesterday of 24 years. And what happened yesterday? And Tiana passed away, this beautiful soul. And what did people do? They fought with each other. You got school shootings, a man shot speaking his mind in a free country, allegedly. You got a woman that was killed on a train. And you're remembering 9/11, where almost 3,000 people lost their lives that shouldn't have. And people were on social media attacking each other, writing to each other privately, calling each other, texting each other, DMing each other, and harassing each other over the fact that you are sad about something that they're not sad about. Really nice way to honor 9/11. Really cool way to show that we've learned anything in 24 years. Or in 2000. So yeah, this is my annoying moment of the week. Yeah. I'm not proud of humanity right now. Yeah, there's times where I think that God's going to hurl a fireball here or send another wave. Because there's no way in heck that God is happy with the way that we've been treating each other. There's no way. There's no way. And if you responded to hate with hate, then you are part of the problem. There's nothing that I put out there that was hateful. I was sad. I took like 6 hours to think about what I wanted to say. I didn't knee-jerk emotionally just put something out there. I was sad. I was hurt. And as somebody who speaks for a living and goes out in public and welcomes people that I have no idea who they are and what they're capable of to sit in the same room with me and have a conversation, it was weird to see what happened. I had to go do a live show right by a main road, surrounded by a neighborhood, a few hours after I found out about this. And I'm not Charlie Kirk, and there's not millions of people that were there. It still felt strange, eerie, in a way. Like, whoever, did he ever think that was going to happen? I mean, when I'm setting up, I'm just setting, you know what I mean? It's like that. It's not even on my mind. Right? Did those little kids that were praying think that they were going to get shot right after? You know what I mean? They're thinking about, like, what am I going to have for lunch today? What toy am I going to get? You know what I mean? Like, it's like little baby, these are little babies. You know? Melissa in her home with her husband, they're probably sitting there thinking about, hey, what are we going to watch on Netflix tonight, babe? Charlie's wife is probably thinking about, man, I can't wait to get home, honey. We got 2 days off. What are we going to do with the kids? And you got people attacking people for being sad about that. That girl on the train was thinking, man, thank God maybe she's thinking, I can't say what she's thinking. Maybe she's thinking, man, thank God I got out of Ukraine. Thank God I got to a free country, man. On the other side of the world, life's got to be better here. She obviously didn't come here to think because she thought it was worse. And she's just going about her life, taking normal transit that people take for work and play and leisure, and they're going on a date tonight, so in the train, going to take the train. How did America become the place where Columbine is normal and people hate each other amidst mourning someone's death? There was multiple messages of people saying, you're not allowed to mourn this person, you shouldn't mourn this person's not worth mourning. Could you imagine if somebody said that about your son? Guess what? Charlie's somebody's son. Could you imagine somebody said that about your daughter? Guess what? Irina is somebody's daughter. Stop acting like these aren't human beings, that they're not like you and me. You cut them, they bleed. They got a brain, they have a heart, they have a soul, they have a body. The hypocrisy of, I'm going to say all this like vile stuff about somebody, but nobody better not say anything about my kids. And it's like, if you open yourself up to this hate, you should never be surprised when it comes back. If you open yourself up to this love, you should never be surprised when it comes back. I refuse the hate. And I refuse to answer messages of hate that I received. So if you're wondering why I didn't respond, A, I didn't read it. B, I read part of it. C, I read it and I don't respond to that stuff. If you don't know my heart and you don't know the God that I believe in and you don't know what I stand for and what matters to me, then you're blind, because I do not shy away from my belief in God, my faith, and I have made a 39 plus year promise to myself that if I treat anybody in any way, shape, or form how I do not want to be treated, I apologize and I correct my behavior. I could tell you like every sin that I have. I could tell you everything I'm not proud of. I could tell you every time I wish I was better. I wish I kept my mouth shut. I wish I didn't say that word. I wish I wasn't in that room. I can tell you plenty of times where I could have been a better human being. But I can proudly tell you that I've never hated anybody, never wished death upon anybody, never wished bad upon anybody. And if any way, shape, or form it sounded like I was wishing bad on someone, I prayed to God and told God repeatedly, please know that I did not mean that. Because in no way, shape, or form do I ever want something negative to hit a person and have it be because of me. I am not going to throw a rock at somebody. I do not want someone to throw a rock at me. So with that being said, we're going to take a step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. I pray that this world gets better. I pray that we get kinder, and I pray that we work together. I hope the best for you. I hope the best for your loved ones. And if you don't agree with anything that I say or do, I still pray you have a wonderful life. And if you agree with everything I say and do, I pray that you have a wonderful life. And I pray that at the end of my life, as much as I've been upset with people and maybe said some things I shouldn't say, I pray that at the end of my life, I see everyone that wronged me and everyone that was right toward me, because I pray that we have all repented, we have all gotten right with God, and I pray and I hope that everyone that was nice, mean, this, that, whatever you were toward me, I hope you make it to heaven. Because the hope that you don't make it, I would never want you to hope that I don't. So I apologize for every word, deed, or anything I've ever said about not wanting somebody to be there or not this or not that. I hope everybody makes it to heaven. And I will pray for everyone's soul. And if you think there's hate in my heart, then you don't know me. And if you choose to not ask me about it, that's your funeral. That's your decision, right? Funeral in the sense of like, I guess that's the end of our conversation. Maybe that's what I should say instead of funeral, because I want you to live to be 150. So if you can take somebody like me who prays for the people that have abused him, prayed for the woman that tried to kill him, prays for the people that have thrown a knife at me. Like, if you want to hate the man or the woman that prays for the people that don't agree with them, don't respect them, abuse them, and have attempted to take their life, like, how many people on this planet can say somebody tried to take their life? Hopefully not many. But I, at 18 years old, can tell you that I dated a woman who tried to take my life. And almost 20 years later, I called and talked to her on the phone as a civilized human being, and I've forgiven her. So if you want to end your friendship over me praying for somebody or putting out a positive message about somebody, then just know you're ending your friendship with someone who prays for and forgives the person that tried to take his life. I don't understand this world. And I guess it's because if you really do believe in God, you know you're not of this world. This world is but a test. This world is but a trip until you go home. And sometimes it feels like a vacation, and sometimes it feels like a prison. But I just want you to know, from every fiber of my being and the God I believe in, whatever your sexuality is, your gender, your faith, your nationality, your language, the money you have, the job you have, the dreams and aspirations you have, whoever you are, whatever you define yourself to be, there is a God that loves you, and I will always pray the best for you. Even if you hate my guts. Because I would never want God to give up on me, and I don't want him to give up on you. We'll take a step aside. We'll be back after this.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily, and we bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's it's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Avicoli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on into the neighborhood spot, Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's K9, ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. And of course, Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Visit them Monday through Saturday for sales and service. And of course, you can get a sneak peek at their inventory by going to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. With that being said, I know that today's show's a little bit off in timing because there's a lot to discuss. So let's jump into lead. Learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver, the acronym proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and the wonderful team that is led by Jimmer Sikowski, the owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, the first Chick-fil-A in Central New York. Today's topic, God is my refuge. God is my refuge. So some of you may use that word. Some people may not use that word. You might say, Dan, what's the definition of refuge? And I'm going to give you the official definition of refuge. God is my refuge. What is that definition of refuge? A condition of being safe or sheltered from pursuit, danger, or trouble. A refuge. A condition of being safe or sheltered from pursuit, danger, or trouble. God is my refuge. God is the place where I feel safe from pursuit, danger, or trouble. And I cannot thank God enough for being my refuge, my place where I feel safe from pursuit or danger or trouble. I'm grateful to have the God that I have, the only God that there is. I'm happy that there is a God, that we weren't just randomly created by some whatever. The fact that somebody thinks that like this is all random is insane to me. That's just absolutely insane to me, that there is this belief that there is no God, right? So that would mean that you and I can understand each other, animals can understand us, and this all happened by chance. That all the particles, all the atoms, everything that makes up my body just all came together by chance. And then these bones form, all this stuff just coincidentally just all formed together. And then I woke up and then I had intelligence and then here I am. That this, and by the way, just saying, just as an argument, if you believe in evolution, we stopped evolving a long time ago as humanity, apparently, because of how we treat each other lately. But when I see this world and I see what it's become and I see what it is and I see the beautiful, beautiful things about this world and the fact that I'm surrounded by so many wonderful people and I work with so many wonderful businesses that believe in me and in my mission and my vision and who I am, and that I have friends that support me and love me, friends that I would take a bullet for. Hopefully that they would take one for me. Not that they would ever need to, but just that they would. That I have parents that love me and support me and are proud of me and remind me of who I am when I'm struggling with this world. When I see all the good in this world, amidst all of the chaos. And I say to my parents, how can there be good and chaos? How can there be love and hate? And when I don't know where to go, I always go to the same place. I always go to the same place. And God is my refuge. God is my refuge. And I love that. I love that I can go to a place and know that I am safe. Know that I am loved. And know that I am valued. I can't say enough about that. To have a place where when the world gets nasty and the world gets mean and the world gets hateful, I have a place that's always a refuge. That means the world to me. And I cannot thank God enough that He does exist. And that on my darkest days, toughest moments, times where it doesn't make sense, time where hate is running rampant and people are violent, I can be happy knowing that there's a place to go. There's always a place to go. And I just hope that the people that struggle in this world, struggle with anything, struggle with addiction, struggle with bad thoughts, that you don't give up. You know, I've had friends that have gone through hard times. I've gone through hard times. Family members go through hard times. And, you know, I've been in that place where you don't know what to do next and you don't know where to go. But I've always had God and I've always gone there. And that's all I know. So just know you have a refuge. You have a place. Don't give up. Don't feed into the hate. Don't let yourself get depressed and anxious and stressed. Don't want to die. Please. Don't want to kill yourself. Please. Just don't give up. You know, there's so many people that are going through really tough moments. And I don't ever want you to think that you don't have a place to go. God loves everybody. He is forgiving. He is kind and nourishing and open and everlasting. He always listens. He will talk. You have to listen. And he always has the right words to say. You look in the Bible and you think about this thing's like 2,000 years old. And when you look in the Bible, you can see all of these messages that make perfect sense today, and you're sitting here thinking to yourself, like, how could how could God know I needed to hear that? In Genesis, in the first few pages of the Bible, there's all of this amazing advice. And I just was sitting up in bed reading it, and I was thinking to myself, like, how the heck could God know that I needed to hear that? How did he even know I was going to be reading this 2,000 years later? So, whatever you're going through, whatever hard times are going on, don't give up. Ever. Please don't give up. I send you all my love, and I send you all my prayers, and God bless you all. God is my refuge, and he is yours too. Be safe. Be good to each other. Be kind. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero on 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, New York. We'll take a step aside, and we will be back with the top dog of the week right after this.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, we just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people, that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing. And so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and in those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you for being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I can't thank you enough for being a part of the show Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Of course, we're going past 11 this morning as we jump into the top dog of the week. And this one's hard. Top dog of the week, proudly presented by K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare and K-9 Campground Dog Boarding. There's a beautiful person that I had the opportunity to meet. A person that has such a kind heart. And that just, I've never heard anybody say a single bad thing about her. Not that it would even matter. A sweet human being who fought cancer, defeated it, and had to go through it again. Somebody who shouldn't be dead today. Somebody whose heart has seemingly touched so many different people. A really just a great story about a woman who fought the good fight. A human being who just seemingly left people better than when she found them. And I can't pretend to sit here and know her that well because I didn't interact with her as much as other people did. Not because I didn't want to, we crossed paths and I definitely wanted to talk to her more. But she was someone that when you found out she was fighting cancer, or anybody's fighting cancer, you want them to beat it, right? And her teammates were around her, and they were cheering her on, and they were being there for her. And she kept fighting, and she kept fighting. And if you've ever been around anyone that's had cancer, or if you had it yourself, you know that it's just an awful thing that I would just love for this world to not have. But we do. And it's hard. You know, when anyone's going through cancer, you just want it to be, number one, you don't want it to happen. And then you get through the, okay, it's happening, and what are we going to do? And then you want them to beat it, and you want them to be okay. And you never want it to come back. And then unfortunately, if it does come back, you're sitting here thinking to yourself, okay, like, now what do we do? What can we do? Can we keep moving forward? Can we keep being positive with this? Can we just find a way? Because you never want to hear any bad news, and you definitely don't ever want to hear stuff like this. You never want to hear somebody has cancer. You never want it to come back. And I just feel really bad that not feeling bad, just feeling sorrowful that this world doesn't have Tiana Mangakahia in it right now, physically walking around, doing her thing, making people smile, smiling herself, being a happy person. You know, I'd love to not have cancer be a part of any of this. But sadly, we sit here this morning and we know that that's a real word, and it's not something that you ever want to see anybody go through. You don't want to go through it yourself. But I'm not going to define anybody because of it. I refuse to let a disease define somebody or something that's... I'm not a negative person. So Tiana, I miss you. Tiana, now you know if you didn't know before, wanted to talk with you, wanted to have you back on the show, wanted to learn more about your story, wanted to sit with you. I'm happy that you got to spend time on this earth. I'm happy that you affected people in such a positive way. And I'm happy that you made a positive impact in a world that definitely needs more positivity. Thank you for your goodness and your kindness. And thank you for being a light. Thank you, Tiana, for being the top dog of the week, because cancer didn't defeat you. Nothing did. You're strong. You will live on, as your family's note said, and I want to read it here. You will continue to live on. And I want to read the message. It says, "We are heartbroken to share the passing of our beautiful Tiana Mangakahia. She left us on 9/11/2025, surrounded by family, friends, and lots of love. Tiana was a shining light who touched the lives of everyone she met with her kindness, strength, and warmth. She fought right till the very end, showing courage and grace beyond words. Though our hearts ache without her, her legacy and the love she gave will stay with us forever. We will continue to honor her in everything we do. We love you endlessly, Tiana, and we miss you always. Hashtag tough for T. Tiana, you're my top dog of the week because you didn't lose. You kept fighting. You gave your all. And I knew you for 5 seconds, and I'm sad that you're not here. So I can only imagine how people feel that were and are and will always be very, very close to you. I thank you for your strength, your smile. I don't care how many points you scored. I'm just happy that I got to meet you. My good friend Katie Kalinsky obviously has a great relationship with you. And I love Katie. So, you know, if she loves you and who you are and what you stand for, that speaks volumes as well. But you're my top dog of the week. And I'm sad you're not here. But I know you're in heaven. And I hope that your fight inspires people to fight. And I know it will. So we love you, Tiana. You keep shining, girl. God bless you. We'll be back right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Stay with us.
And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company, with locations at their Cazenovia Farm Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon-to-be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeyer family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmeyer family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. You know, we want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to a Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I mean, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. I mean, you can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, you know, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, you know, everyone in the world's gonna sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, you know, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place, and I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Cazenovia, and we smoke a lot of our products. A delicious smoked turkey. We have barbecue ribs on Sundays. From a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing, you go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Kaz location and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point, because you get a little something different at each one. You know, we understand how hard it is to, you know, work every day and get after it every day, and when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
Have Avicoli's Restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on into the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's K9, ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry loving friend. Right, Lily?
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. It is time for us to jump into a new segment to the broadcast that started here in September, and that being the Player of the Week, brought to you by Myers Creek. And I have two for you. Why? Under promise, over deliver. My first Player of the Week will be the High School Player of the Week. And who are we going to choose here? This is our first ever High School Player of the Week on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You know I do a lot of work with high schools and have the opportunity every single month to be at the Wildcat throughout the year at the Wildcat Sports Pub with the West Genesee Wildcats. Of course, we are at Avicoli's like we were this week with Liverpool and their athletic programs. And we're out in Beeville at Pizza Man with their athletic programs as well with the Baldwinsville Bees. So we've had the opportunity to spend time out in the community with our wonderful high schools here. And of course, I've had the opportunity to work with CBA, CNS, ESM, and a bunch in the Southern Tier and upstate New York and so on and so forth. So thank you to all of the wonderful high school student athletes and coaches, as well as their families. It is going to be a difficult decision to make this decision every single week because there are so many wonderful places and wonderful people that are out there competing. So just know how hard this decision is going to be on me, but know that it is a decision that is made to just celebrate Central and upstate New York. So with that being said, my High School Player of the Week for the first time ever on Wake Up Call is going to go to West Genesee, and I'm honoring the entire football program. That's right, I could not choose just one Player of the Week from West Genesee on this football team because they made some positive history this week. Or this past week, I should say, coming in. And that is the fact that they, with their football program, have won their season opener for the first time since 2021. In 4 years, they can now say that they have won the opener, started on the right side of things in the win-loss column, and as they move forward under Joe Corley, can hopefully create some momentum early on this season. We've seen this team in the postseason. We've seen them do some good things. And we've seen some good players come through West Genny. But I could not pick just one player as we honor them for having their first season opening victory since 2021. Shout out to our Player of the Week in high school in Central and Upstate New York, going to the entire West Genesee Wildcats football team, all of their student athletes, and their coaching staff, led by Joe Corley. Our Syracuse Football Player of the Week, proudly presented by Myers Creek exclusively, is going to Justice Ross Simmons. Justice Ross Simmons, a wide receiver for the Syracuse Orange, had a 53-yard touchdown on a 4th and 2 play where the UConn defense looked a little bit frazzled and confused, and the ball was sent from quarterback Steve Angeli in only his second start with Syracuse and third start ever in college. He took a 4th and 2 play, went to the right sideline, tossed the ball a couple yards, and he put it in a perfect pocket where Justice Ross Simmons could catch it, and then Justice did the rest, taking off for a 53-yard touchdown, and later on in the game had the game-winning touchdown that you're looking at on screen right here, picture from Cuse.com, so shout out to Syracuse Athletics for this picture, where Justice Ross Simmons caught the ball in overtime and was able to get it past the pylon before going out of bounds. He bobbled it, gathered it, and got it past that pylon on the right side of the end zone to make sure that Syracuse secured their comeback victory to get this first win of the season, and this win coming in overtime against UConn, 27-20. Our Syracuse Football Player of the Week, proudly presented by Myers Creek, goes to Justice Ross Simmons, who told me that he's still not even at 100%. Well, he darn looked like he was right there on it. This man was trusted by Steve Angeli, and he came through on multiple occasions, including this 53-yard touchdown and the game-winning touchdown in overtime to help Syracuse pass UConn and get a win in their their home opener of 2025 and get their first win of the season. Justice Ross Simmons, Player of the Week, proudly presented by Myers Creek. And I want to thank Myers Creek for our partnership. They will be bringing the Player of the Week every week to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And that Player of the Week will be honored here on Wake Up Call. We'll have our Syracuse Football Player of the Week, obviously during the Syracuse football season. And we will, of course, also have our High School Player of the Week throughout many different seasons from the fall and the winter into the spring. So many thanks to Myers Creek for our Player of the Week segment, proudly and exclusively brought to you by Myers Creek with their locations at 33 Rippleton Road in Cazenovia, out in the country, and of course in their location at the Syracuse Inner Harbor, right by Destiny USA, multiple highways, and not too far from going to the Dome. You can come over to Syracuse Inner Harbor and see Myers Creek there on 720 Van Rensselaer Street in Syracuse, New York. And of course, on home game day, you'll have Wake Up Call game day for all Syracuse football home games, which at the time we're talking, we have 5 more, including tonight. We will see you tonight, September 12th at 5 p.m. The game kicks off at the Dome at 7 against Colgate. We'll be there at 5 o'clock. We look forward to seeing you out there at Myers Creek, Syracuse Inner Harbor. Wake Up Call game day is with you every home game for Syracuse football this season. So we look forward to seeing you today, September 12th at 5 p.m. And just to let you know that we also look forward to seeing you for the other 4 home games that remain on the schedule. And those home games are going to be for the Syracuse Orange, that you can come see Wake Up Call game day with Isaac Elford and myself at the Syracuse Inner Harbor location of Myers Creek. That'll be against Duke, that is coming up here. And so that Duke game, after Syracuse travels down to Clemson, we will see Syracuse face off against Duke, and that game will be at the end of this month. So looking forward to being able to bring that to you, and of course have some fun with everything that's coming up, like I said, with Syracuse football. So we will be there on site, on location tonight, Friday, September 12th at 5 p.m. And we will also be with you on September 27th in the game on game day when Syracuse faces off against the Duke Blue Devils, on October 18th when they face off against rival Pitt, the Panthers. And we will be there on Halloween at Myers Creek at the Syracuse Inner Harbor on October 31st when they take on Bill Belichick in North Carolina, and also on November 29th against Boston College. So we look forward to seeing you for all of those Syracuse football home games at Myers Creek for Wake Up Call game day. And with that, we're going to take our final step aside. We'll be back right after this, where sports meets life, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Stay with us.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. GG Cards and Breaks open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6 and Sundays from 10 to 5. Head out to GG Cards and Breaks and be a big kid. No matter what your age is, you can always stay a kid at GG Cards and Breaks. So if you are a kid, go be a kid. And if you're not a kid, go out there. If you're not a kid anymore, I should say, if you're an adult doing adult things, well, go be a kid today at GG Cards and Breaks. You'll find hockey, soccer, basketball, baseball, football, Disney Lorcana, Magic the Gathering, One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, and more. Just go out to GG Cards and Breaks and enjoy all the wonderful things that they have to offer. They keep expanding and evolving. The product can change daily, hourly. You never know what's going to be on the shelf or in the display cases. By the way, they have a bunch of new ones and an awesome new layout. Go see GG Cards and Breaks today. Let them know the DT sent you. And thanks to Josh Anthony and the team for all the work that they do on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Many thanks to Chick-fil-A DeWitt on the corner of Bridge and Erie. So happy to have Chick-fil-A DeWitt out there now. The opportunity for you to get over to Chick-fil-A right there off of Bridge Street, which is a main road, and Erie Boulevard, of course, also another main road. You can't miss it. It is a giant brick building, and it's right there on the corner of Bridge and Erie with a double drive-through. And, of course, it is amongst a bunch of high schools, colleges, and universities. And so you can see our wonderful team members at Chick-fil-A DeWitt, led by owner-operator Megan Sorber. And I'm so happy that she came up here. Her husband's family is from the Binghamton area. So love that they're up by their family and they're helping to grow the Chick-fil-A family here in Central and upstate New York. And of course, they're employing your family members. So go out and support them and support your family, support the community with all of these wonderful people working at Chick-fil-A DeWitt on the corner of Bridge and Erie all throughout the week, except on Sundays. As you know, they are closed on Sunday. Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I thank you for being with us longer today and for spending some time with us. I pray for this world. I pray for this everybody, every animal, every plant, every human being, every life. I really do. And, you know, I just, there's no place for hate and there's no place for evil. And I just keep loving each other, be kind to each other, have conversations. And, yeah, just don't attack each other. Just don't. And the devil doesn't need your help, man. Seriously. And, you know, we could all use a little more love. All use a little more love. Somebody just posted this and I wanted to share it. It says, I'm at a loss for words for everything going on. I am heartbroken. Jesus, the world needs you. We need your presence, Jesus. Lord, cover the earth with your love. Shower us. Jesus, I run to you, my frustrations, my anger, my confusion, I run to you. And like we talked about earlier, God is my refuge. Real lives have been taken, Lord. Be with those who are hurting. Holy Spirit, come and give comfort in times when we do not understand. Jesus, give us peace. And that was from Amy Willis Wojciechowski. So, Amy, thanks for sharing that today. I appreciate that very much. Very, very much. So God bless y'all. God love y'all. Thanks for being with us up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and obviously beyond that. You can find us on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And many thanks to our wonderful team of partners, Great Lakes Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Game Point Sports Complex, the best place to go for basketball, volleyball, pickleball, cheerleading, field hockey, and more, right on 211 South Center Street in East Syracuse. Go to gamepointsports-syr.com, and not the word dash, but the actual dash, syr.com. Go there today to book some time, because that place is so awesome and you don't want to miss out. Chick-fil-A Cicero, Mother's Cupboard, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, Pizza Man, Myers Creek, with their 2 locations on 33 Rippleton Road in Cazenovia out in the country, and in the Syracuse Inner Harbor, where we're going to be tonight, Friday, September 12th at 5 p.m. for Wake Up Call Game Day, pre-gaming Syracuse and Colgate before Isaac and I head up to the Dome for the kickoff at 7 o'clock. We'll see you at the Inner Harbor at Myers Creek, and go out to both of their locations throughout the week, and much appreciation to Myers Creek. Brian's Landing, K-9 Campground Dog Boarding, Chick-fil-A DeWitt, Avicoli's, and of course we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. You'll find your Bobcats in the Bobcat Buzz every single month. Make sure you go out and find your Bobcats and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our BSC Syracuse playlist. You also find the Bobcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bearcats every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time during Bearcat Time. You will find your Bearcats here with me, student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni. You can find all of our specials by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Binghamton playlist. You'll also find the Bearcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. Onondaga Community College is an exclusive multimedia marketing partner of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your lasers every other Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time and what we call the Laser Lounge. Next up is this Wednesday, September 17th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and you will find the OCC Lasers student-athletes, coaches, and administration on the broadcast, and you can find all of our content by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find the OCC Lasers playlist on our YouTube channel. You'll also find OCC on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to onondagalazers.com and go Lasers. With that being said, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you tonight at Myers Creek at 5 p.m. So come hang out with us. Pre-game with us, Syracuse versus Colgate. We'll talk all things Syracuse football. I'll speak on my Q&As with head coach Fran Brown, quarterback Steve Angeli, and wide receiver Justice Ross Simmons from this week, and we'll get you ready for the game. And then Isaac and I will head up with you to the game, right? We'll all be going to the same place. So come out to Myers Creek in Syracuse, Inner Harbor, tonight, 5 p.m., Friday, September 12th, and we can't wait to see you out there. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. From the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I say, God bless, no stress, do your best. Be kind to each other, and have a wonderful day. Stay safe.